Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Marvel Contest of Champions. Why am I smiling? Because I'm doing a video on Iron Patriot, which I didn't think that I would probably ever do. Because this guy gets such a bum rap by YouTubers and fans alike. Why would I choose to make a video about Iron Patriot? I think it's because I've pulled him now 3 times at 4-star. And I just think that I've got to take a look at the character more. It's one that I don't particularly enjoy playing with, but I really want to find out what makes this character so bad. So let's start with some basics, right? Let's go to a bio. Obviously, you know I like the comic books. You know I like some little bit of a backstory. People give a bum rap on this character as well because it's got this kind of Osborn vibe to it because it's Norman Osborn, effectively. I know people made mention about Green Goblin in a previous video, I think a Most Wanted video, but I think really there is still prospect of us getting a Green Goblin in the future because this is Norman Osborn. We've still got Harry Osborn, so there's a chance in the future we may get a Green Goblin. So don't write that off as being it's not going to happen. Next thing is, yeah, okay, it's another Iron Man suit. The only difference is the L2 is very reminiscent of Black Bolt. Obviously very reminiscent as well because it invokes a stun. If they could ever look at a character to buff them with regards to or overhauling some special attacks, then I really recommend this character being one of them. The airstrike is quite good, but it's very, I don't really know how to kind of describe this, very colorful in that it looks just like fireworks raining down rather than being something that's, say, menacing or anything that's exciting. It just seems like it's the 4th of July, 5th of November, and you know, it's not really something that I think is particularly good. So that's really the aesthetics and the visual. And I say again with the suit, yeah, it's Iron Patriot. It is what it is. It needs to be like that. Job done. Let's go on to the nitty gritty. The signature ability, obviously, Arc Overload. Original. Norman Osborn overloads the arc reactor in his chest, yada yada. If his health drops below 10%, granting a large burst of power with 44.8% armor, regeneration, and power gain. After that, his suit burns out and cannot trigger armor up, armor break, or stun, and loses all base armor. So, getting power gain up to that L2, building up to the L2, hitting in L2 doesn't stun because the L2 is a 70% chance for a 4-second stun. Great! That's fantastic. That is really good. And also cannot trigger armor break. What does the L2 do? Chance to armor break. So, okay, so that is a big negative. So we've gone negative on the way that the special attacks work. I mean, this is my opinion. Negative on the special attacks and the way they look. The next negative is based on the fact that the character he nullifies himself. And it's usually it looks like an armor break on the character. It'll come up on the character if it's duped. Some of you guys know about this, some of you don't. It will be circular armor break on the Iron Patriot, and it will just be red, and it's not nice. It's not good. The other specials are alright. The last special hits an 84% chance for stun for 4.25 seconds. It's good. Handy with some masteries to prolong those stunning effects. But apart from that, it's not really kind of making the character better. I'd say this character may have been a little bit better if it was unduped, but I'd say, again, it's like it's me giving a poor argument to save this character from grace. Right, so what, again, final thing to talk about is health, lackluster, attack, again, lackluster, like, you know, this is a 4-star, 3 dupes, up to rank 3, because I'm not ranking up to rank 4 just yet, even though it's the highest tech dupe level I've got. 669, 7,555 regards to health. Let's get this guy out on the battlefield and kind of run some tests. So I've put him together in a little synergy team. So what we've got here, I've increased the armor, so we've 6 plus armor, percent armor, more crit damage. Again, a bit more on armor, so we've got 12% more armor. It's, again, saving grace here. It's not amazing. Here we are against a 440 Iron Fist. Good start. But one thing I want to get hit, okay? I want to get hit. So obviously with the armor, with that 12% armor that we've got on extra, it's better. But when you take that and now it's obviously armor break, it's going to take it down quite considerably. But I must admit, the character's not great on armor in any case. So I've just hit the arc overload, which is what I wanted to achieve. Now we're going to hit out, get to that third special. Now this is the downside, because if the character was on the back foot, it wasn't going well for the character. Yes, we've regened all that points. It's great, but no stun. So all that power gain and no stun is pretty pathetic. So again, not great. And obviously the character gets wiped out. But it's quite easy to see that amount of regen, which obviously I was on level 60, is huge. But it just got like fizzled out. It fizzled out so easily. And if again I didn't have that 12% armor buff from the synergies, I think that my health would have ran out a lot quicker. So the base armor for this character must be trash, which is kind of odd when you think about it, that the character should get those little buffs of armor now and again. Okay, so what I've done now is I'm putting up against a Black Bolt. So obviously that L2 is going to be it's going to be the same exact L2. And I've taken off any kind of synergy. So let's get hit now. Let's get hit. I've got no armor synergies on. Again, like, look at that big chunk being taken off. The character is not good for armor, which is kind of odd. I really find it unusual that a character of his stature shouldn't do better when it comes to receiving damage. Obviously, look again, even with the block is still bad with regards to getting penetrated. But now we've got the double armor up, and obviously now we've gone into the regeneration. So obviously with the poison on, it's not good. And obviously I will pick up the win through the degeneration being an effect on there. But let's have a look at the issues and let's give some final kind of analysis on the character. So again, final thoughts is stuff that I've been saying throughout the video. In our two fights, we noticed that with the 12% increase to synergies on the armor, he didn't take as much damage, but the character did take a lot of damage when it came to not having that 12% of armor on. The downside is we can't see how that affects the base armor of the character because we don't have those stats, and I will cover that aspect of the game with regards to the user interface in a future video. But getting back to the character, we've got serious issues with the character that should be more powerful than he is. Having a Norman Osborn type mentality, I would have expected something a little bit more savage from the character when it comes to the abilities. Having an effect with the signature ability on Arc Overload to nullify his own effects, it kind of goes on this type of carbon copy type thing of the reskin argument of 2015. If you guys know about the reskin argument of 2015, all of us Marvel Contest of Champions YouTubers went on a big kind of, I'd say, rampage with regards to annoyance and frustration that for a certain point Kabam were only introducing characters who are reskins and changing very little about the character. This character is sort of a little bit of an exception to that. In some things changed, but there's copies when it comes to the L2, obviously with Black Bolt, the third being a bit kind of it is what it is, and obviously Freedom Ray is close to what Iron Man does. There's no individual or anything that's truly original, 100% original about this character in any case, but the abilities are largely where it's not as effective. If the armor breaks were good about the character, then that's great. Having a low percentage chance of getting an armor up, and obviously I've got it at level 60, I would have expected that armor up to be more of a reoccurring state of affairs. Where this character is, when he gets hit, it's like a 10% chance to armor up, reducing enemy damage from attacks by 58% for 6 seconds. This is when attacked. It could be likened to something with regards to Deadpool with his duodenum poke. When you hit the enemy character, he begins to bleed. Every time a successful hit, bleed. with this character, 10% chance to armor up. 10% on a character like this, where his base armor must be so low, his asshole must be touching the floor. It'd make a good burglar because he'd wipe out his own footprints. That's how low his armor is. I really think that if they were going to look to kind of improve the character a bit more, they've got to overhaul some abilities. Obviously, there's several other characters that I find disappointing, but this one is extremely. But anyway, yeah, let me know in the comments below your thoughts on the character. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. And then also, if you really enjoyed the content, then please subscribe. More content like this, as well as comic book related content, is coming from the channel. Obviously, if you like tanks as well, stick on for tanks. That's going to be coming soon. And yep, I shall bid you adieu. Thank you very much for watching. And as always, catch you on the flip side. Bye bye.